Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to find a stock that you're going to trade today. It's a stock that's going to be on your watch list. Basically, I'm showing you how I find stocks. Now, just because this method works for me, it may not be the best for you. There's always so many ways to find stocks, trade stocks. There's so many different ways, and this is just how I do it. So, I get a lot of people asking me, like, because if you're in my course and you pay for tier 3, you get to see my callouts. And I always get DMs asking me like, hey, why did you know Amazon or Bath and Body Works or Nvidia or Coin? How did you know those stocks were going to do really, really well? Well, I said I look at what sectors are popping off in the SPY. I see what sectors are doing really, really bad in the SPY. So if I look at the S&P 500, that's the number one stock. I look at it every day. I don't care what I'm doing. I look at the SPY, and I can't spell it right. I'll look at the SPY, and if I see, hey, the SPY was running really, really green today, it opened up, I do my pre-market stuff, I do my pre-market levels, I look at how it did yesterday, and then the next thing I look at is I'll look at the market. So I'll look at this market, and I'll look at this heat map. What sectors are doing the best? And now, this isn't the only tool I use Unusual Whales. I find that Unusual Whales heat map does pretty well. So I'm going to pull it up here for you guys real quick just so you can see it. Sector flow. There it is. So I'm going to pull up Unusual Whales for you guys. And if you notice, this heat map is just extraordinarily easy to see, find, use. I see Tesla, did 4.68. I'm seeing Nvidia here did 4.27%. So the first thing I do is like the market opens up, it's green. Now I want to see what stocks immediately start running. This morning I saw Nvidia, I saw Amazon. They popped off a little bit first. The semiconductor sector, the value 3.1. This one is 1.7. So I did Nvidia today and AMD as well because the semiconductor sector actually had the most volume at the beginning and it actually ran the highest towards the end of the day. Now I did do Tesla and Amazon because, well, they were still really, really good sectors. So every morning before the market opens, I'll look at this heat map and there's just so much I want to talk about this and I really want to get into it, but just for the sake of time, I'm not going to get into it too much. So the heat map itself it's a great tool that I use, and just overall, I'll look at see what stocks are, I guess I'll say, the most green. As you can see, there's like different shades of green because the S&P 500 did extremely well today, extraordinarily good. And so I saw that, hey, these stocks are also green today. The S&P 500 is green. This stock is the most green of that sector, of its sector. The semiconductor sector of the S&P 500 was extremely powerful today. And so, well, I guess not sector. There's the technology sector, healthcare sector, financial services, consumer defensive, communication services, a bunch of these little sectors. Oh, wait, no, yeah. Semiconductor is a sector. I guess you can put it under technology. I digress. But I saw that, hey, Nvidia is doing, the best today. It opened up extremely high. It took this whole map by showing how bright its colors were. And so we click on Nvidia on this heat map. Like, I guess it didn't show you the stock, but I thought it did. So we'll go out here. So I saw Nvidia do the best. Now, let's say the SPY opened red. I would look at a stock, not green, but I would look at a stock that was red and the most red. And if that stock had options, I'd play puts. So if the stock was red today, then, CTRA, I don't even know that stock. I would see that, hey, that stock is running the most red, and I'm going to get on puts for that one because it's probably going to continue red. If it's green, it's going to stay green. If it's red, it's going to want to stay red if the SPY was trending down. So those are always big, big movements I make. I also look at news, the semiconductor bill from Congress, giving subsidies to the chip companies. Tesla's having news with the stock split, the stock buyback, the just a bunch of shit going on with Tesla. Pfizer's coming out with a lot of great shit because of the monkeypox. So they had some really good running. Bank of America was also a good one that was on my list. I don't see it on here for financial services. BAC question mark. Bank of America, yeah, 1.09. I guess it's not that great today or on Friday because I'm recording this on a weekend. But Disney as well. Disney as well was a leader in its sector in the entertainment sector. It was leading over Netflix and I don't know what other ones were there. Dish did 3.82. That was a big one. That's a big move. A bit more than Disney. But Disney was doing pretty well. Now, I'll look at those sectors and I'll see, hey, which sector is doing the greatest, which sector is doing, and in that great sector, what stock is doing better. So once again, semiconductors, I play that almost every single day because that is the biggest sector that's going off right now. Applied Materials, AMAT. They're doing pretty well for themselves, not even gonna lie. I don't play AMAT options. I know people do them. Personally, it's just not in my path, guys. So, but I always play Nvidia, I always play AMD because I know those stocks are just popping off. When the market's good, those guys want to run the best because they're getting all the bills, the subsidies. And this is usually what happens when I look at that flow. So I'll look at the flow, and the first thing that usually happens is I'll see something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and it brings me into here. So on I think the 11th, I was playing Amazon, did a 17% scalp. That was a news play as well. Nvidia, that's where the sectors in the news plays. I saw a 280%. Bath and Body Works, they were really green on a sector. They had some news come out, volume increased, and I saw their. I was looking at the heat map. Suddenly, Bath and Body Works went from a red to a green, and then started shining really bright green. So I played Bath and Body Works. I was late on the momentum because I wasn't paying attention to the news and the volume, but I saw, hey, Bath and Body Works on the heat map, or was that chart I just showed you guys? It's moving. It's getting some volume. It's moving in percentages. So I was able to double my money basically. Coin always a big mover. A lot of volume. If you look at the heat map, Coin has just ferocious movement. And I think that's the last of that one. So leaving this, I want to go talk about, I want to talk about something else. Now, when I also pick stocks is I don't just look at the heat map. I want to look at what news is going on. So, for example, Nvidia just had so much news going on about it. Let's see if I can switch it to NVDA. Nvidia just had so much news about it, and it ran high today, and it ran great. So those Nvidia options, playing them from down here, because by the way, the market took a shit at the beginning of the day, and even though the S&P 500 consolidated for a bit, Nvidia just ran. So buying it from its low to its high, or towards the literally end of the day, you would have made 4%, but the most momentum for options would have been probably at this first spike here, where Nvidia just blasted off 3% movement. It's insane. That's 280% on options. That's where I made it. So first thing I look at, guys, is I'll look at the SPY. Every morning I go, hey, SPY's opening, fucking great today. We were choppy early, but compared to yesterday, the SPY just gapped up tremendously. So I was like, hey, the SPY opened up great. This is what I'm seeing in my levels. I do a whole video over levels on the course. I look at the SPY, I look at my levels. I'm like, okay, the SPY is going to this price. After it breaks this price, it's going to this price. And then from the SPY, I look at my sectors. I look at my heat map. And sometimes I use Webull. The Webull heat map is free. It's easy to use. I got no complaints about it. I do prefer Unusual Whales heat map because it's just something I'm familiar with. I've used it so much. So I'll look at this. I'll look at the SPY. I'll look at the heat map. Okay, semiconductors. Boom. They're big in their sector right now. I'm gonna go for Nvidia. I'm gonna go for AMD. Hey, auto manufacturers. They're doing really great right now. I'm gonna look at Tesla calls. All right, the market's green. I'm gonna play calls when a green market, and I go for the biggest movers and the biggest stocks that open green, and I'm gonna play calls on those. That doesn't necessarily work 100% of the time, but it is the most effective for me. AMAT, I didn't play AMAT. I usually don't play AMAT, but if people could. Disney, Disney's really shining in the sector. The market opened down. I saw my levels. Okay, we're crashing down to these levels. I'm going to look at the stocks that are the most red and see them just tank towards the end of the day, or tank all the way through the end of the day and take my easy wins on those options. That's the first thing I do. There's so many different ways you can actually find stocks though. For example, Unusual Whales is a great tool for me. I use the live hot chains. I look at the flow, the live flow. Obviously, I was looking at Meta earlier, so I'm always looking at Meta. Meta is one of my favorite stocks. But I'll look at the flow. I'll see where the money's going. COP. Someone did $3 million in premiums, 2,000 contracts. Is it out of the money? It's an oil one. It's neutral. It looks like it's part of a chain. Let's see. Dates near to expiration. 6 days to expiration. So they're expecting a movement pretty soon. That's $3 million. That's not something you shy away from. 980K, 300 options on COP as well. Look at that. So the money's moving to COP. They're expecting a move. Definitely seeing something there. Unusual Whales, that's a great way. I find stocks, I see where the money's going, and I'll try to follow that money. So definitely something that's great for COP. Didn't realize that, but I don't really play COP that much. Or well, I don't mean to say it like that, but I don't ever pay attention to it. They did a 70 call and a 90 call. So I'm assuming they're moving out of the money. Is it out of the money? I don't think it is. Whatever, man. It's interesting. But I'll look at Unusual Whales because it also tells me where the money's going in stocks. There are stock screeners, there's stock scanners, there's so many things. I think even Webull uses a stock screener as well. They have a stock scanner right here. And, you can see popular stocks. See that these stocks have a lot of volume in them. These stocks are reaching their 52-week high. These are the top gainers. These stocks gain the most percentages in the market. These stocks lost the most percentages in the market. There's so many different ways to play this. That's how I play it, guys. And if you like the video and you like more information, please feel free to ask any questions you want. I'm always going to try to make myself available, and I hope you guys like the video. Have a good one.